All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and in today's video, I'm going to give you my Vault of Glass Day 1 2021 first impressions. Now, in the background is some of the runs I did, I had a lot of fun today. I actually streamed a lot longer than I was planning on doing, and it was a really crazy day. Basically, what they did with the return of Vault of Glass is they had the challenge mode, and that was really tough. And on top of that, there was a lot of things that they just added small mechanics to just make them much more intricate. And I actually like that. And none of the challenges or none of the encounters felt like they were just exhaustingly long, which was an issue back in the day, especially with like oracles. There was like 9 waves of oracles. I swear it was just so exhausting. But it didn't feel like that at all. And the challenge mode definitely required a ton of good teamwork. Let me know in the comment section below. Were you able to beat it in the first 24 hours? I mean, I guess at the time of this video, you could have still beat it. You could either have beaten it on the regular normal mode, 24 hours, and you get an emblem. You could beat it in the challenge mode, go for world's first, get extra loot, and get the exclusive 24-hour emblem, which is what I got. And it took us a little while, but we got it done, and it's always a really fun accomplishment getting that done. And if you didn't get it done this time, don't beat yourself up over it. Just it gives you something to aspire towards. You know, like I mentioned before, I talked about my Vault of Glass video where I talked about my first run ever doing Vault of Glass. I couldn't even beat the gate or with the part with the gatekeeper just before Atheon, and it made me look forward to getting better at this game. And so if you had a tough day today, don't beat yourself up over it too much, but work to aspire towards getting better and getting better loot and practicing more, and you probably get the next 24-hour raid, which I guess the next raid would be like in February, but I digress from all of that. I want to talk a little bit about the encounters and the experience of this Vault of Glass. Very cool stuff. I mean, I like the random weapon rolls. There's so many new weapons and exciting weapons to chase for. They definitely put the weapons in this raid as some of the best weapons in the game in its entirety. And generally speaking, this took probably the most communication of any raid I've ever really experienced. I mean, the level of like understanding and constant communication between everyone and how everyone needed to understand all the mechanics was really, really important. People keep coming to me, and you might have this question as well. It's like, what advice do you have? Like, how can you help me? Like, give me the advice I need so I can beat this, this time if you're trying to beat it now, or if you're trying to beat it next time, or maybe you're trying to beat it even after the 24-hour mark. The best thing I can say is just communication is super key. Obviously, having good weapons and good armor and good understanding of the mechanics is really, really important in Destiny now. You can't just throw anything on and just jump into an encounter, especially something as difficult as a raid. This is end game content only meant for, people that are ready for it. You have to grind and have good rolled weapons. Like I talk about God rolled weapons all the time. If you're subscribed to this channel, you know what I'm talking about. And make sure you pay attention to that, because I was able to beat it. I beat it in the top 100 on the regular race, and I beat it in the top 100 on the world's first, or on the challenge mode race. And I'm not even trying to get world's first. I'm literally just out here making content and kind of casually beating it with some friends of mine. So it was actually pretty cool to actually finish in the top 100. And maybe I'll try for a little bit harder for world's first, but overall, I don't really care that much about getting world's first. I wouldn't even want to try that hard at PvE. I'm not like a hardcore speedrunner, and I know those guys are always going to get, first or do really well. So for me, finishing the top 100 was really impressive, and it was largely due to a lot of the videos that I make on this channel. And the subscribers will know I talk about the meta in PvE, the most powerful exotics, the most powerful mods and builds and everything like that. And you're gonna continuously find me to make more and more and more builds and mods and weapons and armor and everything on this channel. If you're a subscriber, I'm gonna keep covering everything when it comes to Vault of Glass. So if you have a hard time, if you had a hard time in this first 24 hours, and even if you have a hard time after these 24 hours, I promise I can make everything in Destiny easy for you if you're a subscriber. And I'm really excited to tackle this after the challenge mode. I want to melt the Templar, I want to melt Atheon, maybe even do low man challenges, whatever there is to do. And I still have another character to do it on. I didn't finish the Atheon checkpoint on one character because it was just getting super, super late. So I have beaten Atheon on 2 characters, and one character I did it twice, obviously for the challenge. So I still have one last chance at the Vex Mythic class. So send me all your good energy and all your good mojo, because I would love to get the Vex Mythic class, because I tested it out in another video that you probably will see by the time you watch this one. And it's really, really nasty, really, really strong weapon. So very exciting stuff. And my overall impressions are, honestly, it was a reprise raid. and I'm gonna give it like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. Like a lot of it felt like regular D1, and to give you a perspective, I played this raid a lot. I mean, this was my first raid ever in Destiny, and this is the time when I got hooked to Destiny in the beginning, right? So I have played this raid such a ridiculous amount of times that I'm so familiar with it that doing it again, I thought I wasn't going to be that excited for it, but I actually was, and the mechanics that they added to it were actually really fun and actually made it quite challenging. So a 9 or maybe even a 9.5 out of 10 is going to be my final rating of this, because Bungie really hit it out of the park with this. I love the mechanics. I love the loot you're chasing after. What if you had a bad experience today? What was your bad experience, and was it anything that Bungie could control? I understand people were coming into my chat saying like, "Ah, I have LFG teams and they've got no comms and stuff," and I could understand that frustration. But overall, the quality of this raid was really, really good, and I'm kind of excited to see what Bungie does in the future with reprise raids. Of course, I would much rather have a new raid experience, and that's in February. But in the meantime, halfway through the year, I'm not going to mind these reprise raids too much because this was a good time. And that's going to be a wrap on this video. Make sure to subscribe with notifications on if you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Later.